Hello everybody, hope you're doing okay. It's Sunday evening. I've come out for my Sunday run. Now for a change I've actually left Claygate and driven out to a place called Binston in Hampshire. Part of the reason for that is I'm going to do a little long run test with the Alphaflys on that I've got on here. And this is a circuit I did actually about a couple of months ago, just before lockdown, when I was on my first run in the SL20s. It's quite a nice little rolling 10.5 mile circuit, so it'd be interesting to sort of compare the two. I think I'm probably going to try and put some effort into this and run it at least at marathon pace and see how we go. Right, first of all, get in a little bit of a warm-up. So just on the warm-up, struggling a bit at this speed actually. It's not the greatest of shoe to run sort of a warm-up pace about 8 miles in. I feel very clumpy. Lockdown's not great either, so I'll be pretty negative about these shoes before I start this run. But I'm finding with such narrow feet, although they're really hard to get into, once you get into them, they're a bit like a sock, so they kind of fit as they are. So I'm finding I'm having to really clamp down on the laces, and there's only 4 eyelet chains, and you can't do the lock at the back either. So what I'm noticing in these shoes is that because I've got such narrow feet, that there's a huge amount of extra space at the front here on the side. Like I've got a whole thumb width there and a whole thumb width there, and my toe is sort of nicely, it's about a thumb width sort of from the top, but huge amount of material just been wasted. And if I just take my stride off there, you can see already I'm having to knot this in. So it's always the case that for the elite athletes, you would kind of think they would have a custom version which actually made it better moulding to the foot. Obviously I'm not one of them. So I'll give this run a go, but my impressions of this shoe are getting increasingly disappointing for me. I think the next percent just so much easier to get a better lockdown, and for a racing shoe that's what you want. I don't want a thumb width of spare material that I can press down the side of a shoe. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, but we'll see how we go on this 10-mile run. If I do some great speed for very low heart rate, I'll probably revise my opinion. But so how have I done? I've done a 1.34 miles warm up. I'll do about a little bit more, then we'll get to the place we're going to start, and then see how we go. So before I start this one, I thought I'd have a go to yank down these laces even more, so that was the point to get the tongues touching there. And then that's how much extra lace I've got there. Right, we did the same on the other side, which are already quite tight, so I can yank these in even more. So they are now, the top eyelets there are virtually touching. That's not uncommon for me, though, having said that. What used to feel like a sock, so I'm going to have to improvise a bit. So there's a nice fold already, and there's all this extra room here. No worries about getting a blister on that side of that thing. Okay, so that's about as tight as I dare go them, because you see there's no room at all between those two eyelets now. And the stroid's got a nice little hole for itself. Okay, so shoes sort of locked out as much as I could possibly do before I rip them apart, but let's see if this run's any better. Right, let's get this going, see you later. Okay, so about 2.5 miles in. First 2 miles was mainly downhill, so I pushed on because there's a segment connecting Binsted and which I've just been through, which I can't remember. Very clumpy on feet. I think I got the course record, about 6-minute mile pace exactly, something like that, but mainly downhill. Nice running downhill, lots of cushion, but it just feels too much cushion under my foot here. I feel like now I'm in some sort of prototype shoe. They just strapped a load of Zubex onto a sock and asked me to run. Right, still going a little later on. Just over 5 miles in, I've taken a wrong turn, so I'm going to end up running a bit longer. I've sounded I can't talk. I sounded a steady rhythm. Still think these are rather heavy and wide. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, run done. I managed to do 14 miles in the end exactly, and got that sub 3 pace just about on a very rolling circuit. So I was quite pleased with that on the one hand. Not so pleased with the Alphaflys, I have to say. I think, as I said earlier, very wide for me. Felt like there was a lot of shoes swimming around. I started off very quickly because I attempted a course record on the opening 2 mile downhill, which made the rest of the run very hard, not least of which when I took a wrong turn, ended up actually running 3.5 miles longer than I was supposed to have done. But at least I did take it out to a decent long run, and at 14 miles, well, effectively race effort, I think, because I mean, I was trying there as hard as I did in my marathon. I got a training effect of 4.3 for 1 hour 36 of running, I think it was. But yeah, I think the Alphafly is a bit of a disappointment for me, I have to say. I think it's just too wide for me. Maybe a 12 might have worked, but then I felt I was so close to the front of the toe box, and even then I think in a 12, got a 13, I still would have been swinging around laterally and then hit my toes up against the end box, because I did actually notice going downhill it was quite nice, but every time we went on a little rise upwards, and there was quite a few rises upwards on them, I just felt the weight of those shoes, and it was a real drag to get the feet going again. And after a while my arches were starting to hurt a bit, and it was almost just too much foam, and the thought that I would actually feel better the way you went on wasn't really the case. Perhaps I was going for that really hard, but yeah, and there more testing to do, but usually first impressions of a shoe for me are usually spot on, and usually can tell by the width of them and the length whether they're going to suit me. And I think this one could be a bit of a damp squid for me from Nike, and it could be back to next percent for my races and hard runs like that. But anyway, still did 14 miles at sub 3 pace on a rolling circuit, didn't I? So on that sense, it's not too bad. Yeah, I'm interested if anyone else has had a run in these like these yet, and see what you think. Maybe if you've got a wider foot, they'll fit you perfectly, because you know it does sort of have that sock-like feel in them, which is fine if your foot is of that shape. If not, then you may be struggling. All right, well, I hope you found that interesting, and see you on the next one. Bye.